Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Entity Frost, a professional 2.6 Hog player, and in this video I'm going to be explaining how to win against bridge spam decks. Now, bridge spam is a very common deck that you'll face in Clash Royale, and it's one of the decks where you're going to it's either going to be a hard counter or it's going to be an easy matchup. Now, in terms of 2.6, I would say bridge spam is not particularly hard, but it's not like simple either, so it's kind of like moderate basically. And the main thing you want to focus on when you're playing against bridge spam with 2.6 Hog is to have a solid defense and understand how to outcycle their counter. So for example, in this matchup they have P.E.K.K.A bridge spam, and so the main counter for your Hog Rider is basically just going to be P.E.K.K.A. Now here I didn't know that, so I just played Hog Rider, but you can see that a lot of the times I'm going to have to outcycle his P.E.K.K.A in order to get damage, or I can spell cycle the tower. Now P.E.K.K.A bridge spam has a lot of variations, but this one is a very common one that you'll face. And you can see like I outcycled his P.E.K.K.A, and so right now I'm not guaranteed to get damage, of course, because it just depends on what he plays and how much elixir he spends. But if I manage to just keep outcycling his counters and play Hog Rider when he doesn't have P.E.K.K.A or when his P.E.K.K.A's at the back, then I will get consistent damage and eventually win the game. Now, here's a mistake that a lot of people make when they play P.E.K.K.A bridge spam. Like, they play P.E.K.K.A bridge spam themselves, is by playing Magic Archer at the back on the side that has less HP, because it just lets me fireball his Magic Archer and it's just a negative trade for him. Now, Evo P.E.K.K.A is not actually as scary as you think, because we still have a lot of distracting cards like Hero Ice Golem, Skeletons, and Ice Spirit. So basically it's really nothing to be scared of. Now Evo Battle Ram, however, is kind of scary because Cannon doesn't fully counter it, so that's maybe like the only scary part of P.E.K.K.A bridge spam if they have Evo Cannon. But in this case he doesn't have Evo Cannon, and you can see here Magic Archer, if he just plays ability and I have an Ice Spirit here, it will activate King Tower, which is pretty crazy. I didn't really mean to, I guess I did, because I kind of anticipated his ability, so I played Ice Spirit here. So if he plays ability right now, it's going to go back and then, you know, activate King Tower. Now, Hero Ice Golem is a very good card in any matchup basically, because it will literally just freeze all his supporting troops and allow your Musketeer to take everything down. But yeah, it's literally as simple as that. You just need to have a good defense and then outcycle his counters and you win the game. Now, I do have to say, the main reason I got so much damage in the first place is because right here I played Skeletons so that the P.E.K.K.A turned backwards and focused on the Skeletons instead of my Hog Rider. So that's a quick tip. If you like, sometimes when your opponent plays P.E.K.K.A too far forward, your Skeletons can actually just distract it like that. Now, of course, he should have played P.E.K.K.A a little bit behind, so like right here, so that it won't, you know, target the Skeletons. But that was probably his most major mistake in this match, and basically costed him the game. But yeah, so that's the first matchup against P.E.K.K.A bridge spam. Let's have a look at the next matchup that I played, which is against Chief Keef. Now, a very common thing you'll see in my gameplay is I really like to play Hero Ice Golem and Hog Rider at the bridge. In fact, that's what I did in the first game. Literally, I do this every time I have it in hand because, you know, it's most of the times it will work out, but sometimes it won't. So it's kind of like a risk if you want to take it or not, but I think it's quite fun to do that, so that's why I did that. But yeah, the second game I also played Hero Ice Golem and Hog Rider at the bridge and activated ability. And I think I won't get a hit here because he played so many things to stop me. He played Cannon, Magic Archer, and Skeleton Army. So that's 3 plus 3, which is 6, plus 4 is 10. So he played 10 Elixir to stop my Hog Rider Ice Golem, which is 8 Elixir. So I'm up 2 Elixir right now. Let's see what I do here. Yeah, so I kind of anticipated his ability. So I didn't like play log or anything because he'll probably just, you know, yeah, that's what I anticipated. I anticipated that he would play ability and then it would just activate King Tower like that. So that's a quick tip. If you're playing against Hero Magic Archer, usually you'll be best to play troops like near the middle such that if he plays ability, it will chain onto your King Tower. So that's a very quick tip. Whereas if I played Ice Spirit on this tile, for example, it will still, you know, distract the Magic Archer, but if he plays ability, it won't activate King Tower anymore. So when you're playing Hero Magic Archer, just remember you can always play the troops near the middle so that it will maximize your chances of him activating your King Tower. And that was just a simple log to finish it off. Now this matchup is sort of, it's not 100% bridge spam, although it kind of is because he's got Royal Hogs and he's got like Dark Prince. But yeah, let's see what I did here. Okay, so he played Royal Hogs as soon as I played Hero Ice Golem. And here I thought, okay, I have two choices here. I can play Fireball to take down his Royal Hogs, or I can go in with Hog Rider opposite lane. Now I chose to go in with Hog Rider opposite lane because I figured that he probably doesn't have much to defend my Hog Rider. Although this was kind of a risk because if he had like, let's say Mini P.E.K.K.A. or like Bomb Tower for example, I would have been a little bit on the deficit side because I wouldn't have gotten enough damage to compensate for these Royal Hogs. But luckily he only had Inferno Dragon, which is why I played ability to refresh the Inferno Dragon and then simply just play skeletons on top of the Royal Hogs to take care of them. And I should be very much in the lead here. And this just goes to show you why Hero Ice Golem is such a good card. If I didn't have Hero Ice Golem, this would have just, you know, it didn't really freeze anything. But because I had Hero Ice Golem, that just gave me so much more time for my Hog Rider to get damage on his tower. So definitely consider Hero Ice Golem if you don't have it right now. Now, okay, here's an interesting thing. I didn't play Ice Golem to tank for this Dark Prince because my left tower is higher HP than my right tower. So I don't actually need to worry as much like in terms of preventing damage on the left side because it will just even things out on both sides. Although I can't like, you know, take too much damage, otherwise I'll just be losing. I'll just lose my tower, of course. So that's like a balance that, you know, you need to get the hang of. So against Royal Hogs, it's also a moderate matchup, not too hard but not too simple, because you do have counters for his Royal Hogs. You have Cannon and you have Fireball. The only thing to watch out is if he plays Royal Hogs in the middle, obviously you play Cannon in the middle because your Fireball, you can't Fireball both sides. But if he plays Royal Hogs on one side, then you can Fireball because you'll get value. Or you can still play Cannon. Both options are still fine. Now here I kind of messed up this placement. I was meant to play Hog Rider one tile to the right, but I messed it up. But anyway, yeah. So none of us got any damage, and I think these Evo Skeletons aren't going to connect. Yep. So we're up in damage now. It's not that hard to secure the win here because he doesn't really have cards that are too threatening. You know, he can spam at the bridge, but like at the end of the day that's not really going to do anything because I have so many distracting cards like Skeletons and Ice Spirit. And here I think I'm just going to Fireball. Okay, that was not a good Fireball, but it's okay. I probably should have aimed a bit near this tile to hit the Magic Archer and the Royal Hogs. For some reason I thought the Hogs would go for my tower, but I forgot I had a cannon here. But anyway, the rest of this is pretty straightforward. Just spam distracting cards and basically win the game. Of course your Ice Golem ability is broken, and the rest of this game should be pretty straightforward. You know, just don't fold under pressure because of his bridge spam. Yeah, just Fireball everything basically. When they have a lot of troops, just Fireball everything. And that's basically how you win against bridge spam. Now, the thing with bridge spam is that most of the times they're gonna have cards that die to Fireball, or at least get very damaged from Fireball. Like for example here, Dark Prince, Royal Hogs and Magic Archer, they all die to Fireball, or at least get very damaged from Fireball. So that's the thing about bridge spam. A lot of the cards, you know, you can get a lot of value from just playing Fireball, and that's why I think bridge spam isn't too hard of a matchup, because you always have that, you know, Fireball to just clean everything up. Now, let's go to the third matchup against Perez. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but this is going to be a Three Musketeers matchup, which is sort of still bridge spam because of Bandit, Battle Ram, and Golden Knight. And so you can see, like, in a lot of the bridge spam decks, there's a lot of 4 elixir cards or like 3 elixir cards that they can like just play at the bridge. And a common theme is that these cards are always like fast. So Bandit is obviously like, they have the dash. Golden Knight is obviously fast. Battle Ram is obviously fast. And sometimes they'll have Lumberjack as well. Now, same strategy, just your Ice Golem and Hog Rider the bridge always seems to work. And that's a lot of damage that we just need to maintain for the rest of the game. So he played ability right onto my skeletons. If I played skeletons in the middle here, the Golden Knight might have dashed onto my Musketeer. So sometimes you don't want to play skeletons in the middle if your Musketeer is also in the middle, because the Golden Knight might dash to your Musketeer as well, which is why I played it to the side there. Now here, I think I just play Ice Golem and an ability, and this is pretty straightforward. Just make sure don't like panic when your opponent spams things at the bridge. Like, you always need to think logically. Like, okay, he has a bandit at the bridge and a hunter behind it, and he has a battle ram on the right side. Now let's analyze it, right? If I play Ice Golem here, that's going to tank for the bandit, and if I play ability, that's definitely going to counter the bandit. And all I need to do is play cannon here so that the battle ram connects to the cannon, the barbarians come out, and simply play Ice Spirit in the middle to kite both his hunter and the barbarians. So yeah, if you play Ice Spirit here, the hunter will get distracted by the Ice Spirit, but the Ice Spirit will jump onto the barbarians because the barbarians are closer to the Ice Spirit. And so this is where, you know, you can hit two birds with one stone, basically. Or whatever the saying is, I don't know. And yeah, he plays 3 musketeers. Now, here is a question. Which side do you fireball? Because the left side is obviously more damaged, but the right side is less damaged, but he has 2 musketeers. Now, it depends on the situation, but most of the times, it depends on the goal. Like, if right now you're up in damage and you just want to defend, then, like, if you just want to defend for the rest of the game and wait until time runs out and you win the game, then obviously you fireball the 2 musketeers side because you're going to take it out quicker. But if you want to, like, deal damage to his tower, then you can potentially fireball his 1 musketeer side, but then you just need to spend a bit more elixir dealing with the other side, of course. But as a general rule of thumb, I would suggest fireballing the side that has 2 musketeers. Now, that was a very solid defense because he played Ice Golem in front, and all I really need to do was play Hero Ice Golem to tank for the musketeers and then play ability to freeze everything. Now notice that the ability gives me more time for my tower to take down his Ice Golem, and my Ice Golem will also, you know, deal area damage to the musketeers, and that's how I took care of them. Simple. And obviously on the left side, simply play either skeletons to take care of everything. Simple. Okay, now I play Hog Rider at the bridge to keep pressuring him. And at this point, yeah, he can't really prevent me from getting a hog hit because of the things he has. Like, no matter what he plays, my Hog Rider is still going to get a hit. So that's the thing with bridge spam. Usually they won't have a full counter to your Hog Rider unless they play P.E.K.K.A at the right timing, which is why it's quite simple to get damage against bridge spam. Now, he played 3 musketeers. He split the 2 musketeers on the left side, which is interesting. Now, even though I missed 1 musketeer with my fireball, shouldn't be a big problem because, yeah, let's watch this defense first. And yeah, I kind of struggled a little bit on the left side, but it's still okay. Now, you see, the right side was probably the bigger threat here because of the Evo Battle Ram. Like I said before, Evo Battle Ram is probably one of the harder cards to counter as a 2.6 hog player because of the fact that your cannon won't actually, you know, take it down. And so that's why I had to play Hero Ice Golem and ability to basically stop everything. But then of course I didn't have enough elixir to defend the left side. But that's still okay because my tower was so healthy anyway, so it didn't really matter. And yeah, with 10 seconds left, there's pretty much nothing you can do. You can literally just fireball whatever he plays and just win the game like that. So those were the 3 games that showed how you can win against bridge spam as a 2.6 hog player. If you have any questions, or if you want to see more content of like whatever you want, like whatever content you want to see, make sure to comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.